The German economy is reportedly on the brink of catastrophe, taking the biggest gamble since 1945. The crisis is profound, and many struggle to fathom its true scale. The core problem is severe stagflation, a condition where the economy contracts while prices continue to rise. Germany has faced consistent recessions. Negative GDP growth occurred in 2023, is projected for 2024, and is likely for 2025. Even the most optimistic projection for 2025 is 0% growth. This contraction, paired with globally rising prices, especially within the European Union, defines stagflation, one of the worst scenarios for an economy. To understand the tragedy, consider the economic context. Germany printed vast amounts of money during COVID. But unlike the US, which saw huge GDP growth, Germany remains stuck in stagflation. Over the last 10 years, the German economy has grown by just 16%. In the exact same period, the US economy doubled. Germany, a major manufacturing powerhouse, has been stagnating while the rest of the world grows. In fact, manufacturing output has been declining consistently since 2019, leading to rising bankruptcies since 2021. Factories are closing, producing less, and firing workers because they simply cannot make money. This crisis is not limited to Germany. Since Germany is the main driver of the EU, its collapse could cause the entire union to dissolve. The fundamental reason for this crisis is an energy catastrophe. For decades, cheap Russian energy, imported through massive infrastructure projects, allowed German factories to operate efficiently and turn a profit. Since 2022, Germany has been forced to move away from Russian energy, instead buying far more expensive resources from nations like Norway, the Netherlands, and the United States. Today, natural gas prices in Germany are 3 times higher than in the US. Similarly, gasoline prices are dramatically higher, costing the equivalent of $7.60 per gallon. While public transport helps citizens, these crippling energy costs demolish the profit margins for businesses relying on natural gas and oil, the backbone of Germany's manufacturing sector. High costs mean German goods cannot compete globally. China and India, for instance, benefit from cheaper labor and are buying Russian oil and gas at a fraction of the European price. Not only that, but Chinese quality has risen substantially. This leads to Germany's second major failure: reliance on manufacturing and a failure to transition to a tech-driven economy. While German engineering remains an etalon of excellence, manufacturing is a highly competitive industry. Germany failed to build a domestic tech sector, but unlike the United States, which shifted from manufacturing giants like ExxonMobil to tech leaders like Apple and NVIDIA. Today, the car market is dominated by Tesla and Chinese firms like BYD and Xiaomi, displacing the traditional German giants. Building a tech company in Germany is insanely difficult, and the infrastructure to attract talent simply doesn't exist. Germany is now taking its colossal gamble. Historically financially responsible, with a low debt-to-GDP ratio around 60%, Germany is changing course. The government has passed a budget that removes previous borrowing restrictions to invest heavily in itself, rebuilding infrastructure, and critically, attempting to build a strong tech sector. This is the only way to compete in the 21st century. If this effort fails in the next 5 to 10 years, Germany will be left with a huge pile of debt and forced to allocate a large portion of its budget simply to pay interest, having missed the opportunity to dominate emerging sectors like AI. The success of this massive debt-fueled structural shift remains to be seen. In summary, Germany faces stagflation, driven by a crippling energy catastrophe and a failed transition to a modern, tech-driven economy. Its plan to borrow heavily to fund infrastructure and tech development represents a high-stakes gamble to secure its future economic competitiveness.